I like to walk at night with my head kind of like tilted upwards, where I can just kind of gaze into the sky and the tops of the trees. I like to make that comparison between the analogy of the moon as a symbol of the Blessed Virgin, because all the glory, all the brilliance, all the beauty of the Blessed Virgin comes from her divine Son, S-O-N. And all the glory, majesty, beauty, and brightness of the moon comes from the sun, S-U-N.
Jesu tibi gloria, vimo te vita prenites, cum Patre Damno Spiritu, in sempiterna saecula.
I believe in you, I adore you, I hope in you, and I love you. I beg your pardon for those
Prayer is, it's hard to express. It's not always something that words can really grasp, because when you speak with the divine, it's not in a human language. It's in God's language, and God's language is first and foremost silence. Sometimes when you first try, it takes a little, maybe 20, 30 minutes of rough, intense suffering, crying out to Him. Once you break that point and you detach from the world, that's when time starts to go by and you sort of almost enter into eternity. Our community prays a good 5 hours a day. 2 of those are silent, 2 of those are liturgical. We recite the Psalms. There's Holy Mass, and then the Rosary is also one of the most pleasing prayers to God because it venerates His mother. And it's a perfect meditation on the life of Christ.
I have experienced the power, the potency of the Rosary at first glance. Like, what is that? Like, what is that going to do? In just about every apparition where she appeared, she explicitly went out of her way to ask for the recitation of the Rosary, this mysterious set of beads, that if you say this Rosary, wonders beyond description will take place. When I think of her beauty, I think of the grandeur of her appearance and the sound of her voice and the flash of her eyes. You know, as the scriptures say, she's as bright as the sun and as fair as the moon, and friars don't get married. I hold her hand during my friary life. I speak to her as a friend, as a sister, as a mother. So she's everything to me. Mary's last words were, do whatever He tells you. That's why I'm enthralled by the words of Christ, by the gospel. And I find them so mysterious and so nourishing.
So I appeal to her like I would a child appeals to his mom, especially when I feel like I've done something wrong. A little baby cries, Mom, don't do this, don't punish me. And the mom looks kind of with pity at her child. So we appeal to Mary for that motherly love. By her intercession, we can win Christ's favor.
St. Maximilian said, in an interesting way, he said, I have one freely chosen and fond fixed idea. It is the Immaculate. Let us live, work, suffer, and long to die for her. He was that wonderful saint that we try and emulate. It sounds like a soul enamored, head over heels.
There was a question that was always present throughout his life. Who are you, O Immaculate Conception? And before he was arrested, he dictated to his secretary some of the most sublime doctrine on the Immaculate Conception. some of the witnesses, the guards, they were actually literally singing hymns to Our Lady. And I think that's precisely what gave him the strength to live in Auschwitz and give his life. You know, God came to us through Mary. We go back to God through Mary. It's God's idea. What was the first thing Jesus Christ did when he came to this earth? He became a child of Mary. It's the first thing he did. And after 30 years under her care, and then at the end of his life, he says, "Behold your mother." I mean, more than that, I don't know. I mean, he speaks louder than words, because 30 years is a long time. It only took him 3 years to redeem the world, to found the church, to form his apostles, to establish the sacraments, to do everything, right? 3 years. 30 years he was with his mother. I wonder, what did he do there?
We praise you, Heavenly Father, from you all light descends. You give us heaven's glory, when life's brief daylight ends. We praise you, Jesus, Savior, the light of heaven above. We praise you, Holy Spirit, the living flame of love.
When you get that eternal rest in heaven, I just imagine Mary like a mother coming and waking you up from a nap and, okay, time to get up.